we're recording, so I'll just do the introduction. Well, hi everyone. It's Alex here from TeeBox Chatter, the golf podcast. I am joined by a very special guest today. Geez, Daniela, I hope I don't say your name wrong, but I'm joined by Epson Tour player and LPGAer Daniela Iacobelli. Daniela, was that close?
You crushed it more than 99% of the first tee starters I've had.
Credit to me. So thank you so much for joining me on this day, and happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, same to you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. So, I guess we'll get right down to the nitty gritty. How did you get your start in golf?
Oh man. It depends on which parent you ask, but my dad was a golfer, kind of self-made, and he used to kind of do those leagues like after work, like those league nights or whatever with the guys. So I guess he came home one day and he was like, "I'm going golfing," and I'm like, "Well, I'm going golfing too." So I was about like maybe 2 or 3 years old, and mom takes a lot of the credit because she bought the plastic set of clubs. And she just told me a story a couple days ago. Apparently, I used to go to bed with my plastic putter.
Come
So
on, for real?
allegedly, that's what she says. She would know better than I. But yeah, allegedly, I had no idea that I used to do that. So that was news to me. I was like, "You're lying." She's like, "No, I swear." I'm like, "Okay."
That's awesome. I mean, and the fact that it
Yeah.
just surfaced after all these years, right? Like it's been,
Yeah.
a couple decades in the making. I guess I don't want to, be
Quite
putting.
a quite a few.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to be that guy, right? So, because I
No,
mean, you never want to be that guy.
you're not going to be that guy with me, I promise.
Oh, I love it. And I mean, an example. I'm just going through. I started covering the Epson Tour last year. Actually, it's been my mission to cover the LPGA more, and in particular the Epson Tour. So I'm going through, Danielle Iacobelli pictures and stuff like that. And the first picture that comes up, there you are in loudmouth, and I'm thinking, this is my kind of girl, my kind of golfer. Um,
Yeah.
do you wear the loudmouth a lot?
No, I don't wear the loudmouth anymore. That was kind of we like to call those the dark ages, I think. It was super cool. I was hanging out with a lot of the loudmouth people, and I mean, at that time specifically, funds were short. Even a $25 polo at Marshall's was kind of splurging. So the loudmouth people like hooked me and my caddy up, my caddy at the time, Tyler, and I think retail, they probably sent us like $15,000 worth of clothes.
Really?
I mean, I had shorts. I could wear a pair of shorts every day for probably 3 months before I had to wash them.
No
And
kidding.
it was ridiculous. So they were too long on me. So my mom actually hand hemmed probably 90 pairs of shorts and pants. She's
Oh,
like, the
bless her
next
heart.
sponsor, yeah, no, tell me about it. She's like, the next sponsor you get, can they already be shorter? And I'm like, I'll work on it, mom. I'll work on it.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I just had to ask you about that because I have to be honest, it was the flamingos that has you in the picture, right? And
Yeah.
I have those exact ones, but in the pants version. So,
I
I mean,
I used to love them, but the thing that kind of sucked about them, and I'm sure the material has changed now, but back then, you wear them so much, you're in the sun. By the time it got to like August, I mean, everything was faded. Everything was
yeah.
just completely washed out. I was like, I've washed these shorts like 900 times. Like, no chance all this color's staying. But yeah, looking back, I was like, wow, you really had to make yourself noticeable, didn't you, D? Like, whoa.
I thought it was a good look. I mean, you know what? I like wearing it because, you know what? You get to really express who you are, right?
I love it, right? It's not the conventional like khakis and white polo that you see at a golf course. It's a little more, yeah, I get it. I love it. It's good stuff. I don't want to say I've upgraded, but maybe now I can afford the $25 polo if I need to splurge.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. And actually, as far as I go, they don't know it about me either. I used to play on mini tours as well. And, I was one of those self funded guys that was trying to do it out there. And they don't realize the cost that comes out of your pocket and everyone else that's, going through the grind of the Epson tour, or there's now what the East Coast women's tour as well, I guess, as a developmental tour that's starting up this year, I believe. Like, so what was that like for you? What was that process like?
I remember in 2012, we had just played a tournament in Syracuse. And at that time, we were writing physical checks as our entry fees. Now it's all online and they hit your credit card and, whatever. But we had to write physical checks. And I looked at my caddy, Tyler, and I was like, if we don't make the cut this week, I have $300 to my name. We're driving home, and fingers crossed it's enough to get us there. And I think I came in fifth that week, which was like $3,000 or $5,000, which was like an astronomical amount of money to me at the time, right? I mean, I just 100 times my net worth. And I missed the cut the next week in Vidalia, Georgia. And then the next week, I think, was the final tournament in Daytona. And I remember sitting on the putting green at a course by home, and I made sure I made 100 3-footers in a row. And I was like, I'm not missing another 3-footer for my life. And I won that week in Daytona, and that check was like 18 grand. And
Oh,
you would have thought that I hit the lotto. I went to the bar, I bought the whole bar a round of drinks, like the whole bar. And I think, I mean, my tab was like maybe $300, but I bought the whole bar. I thought I was P Diddy. Like I
I
thought I was
love
just
it. Let
like,
it rain.
yeah, I thought I was just gonna bathe in it. I was like, this is so much money. And then, I mean, that $18,000, that's what, like your entry fees and like 7 flights now. Like,
Yeah.
that's,
Like, how much is an event now for say the Epson tour? Because it comes out of your pocket, right?
oh yeah, everything comes out of our pocket.
Of course
Epson
it
tour
does.
entry fees $450. And I think this year we have 22 events. So you're what, 10, 12 grand without
Uh,
even teeing up a ball?
yeah, I mean and that's why I feel it's important to get the names out there of golfers like yourself or others on the Epson, or even below that, to maybe help with a little bit of exposure. Because every little bit helps, right?
Yeah, you have no idea. I mean, even when we play in the pro-ams and like some guy will tip you $100, and there's part of you, I mean, at least for me anyway, there's part of me that's like, I should really hold on to this. Like that's, a fifth of my entry fee. And then there's a part of me that's like, God, I really would love a nice steak dinner. So that little $100 can go so many ways, but yeah, every little bit helps. I mean, people give you like $50 gas cards, and you're like, cool, like I can drive from this tournament to the next tournament on 1 tank of gas, and you just paid for it. So it's the tiniest little things that people don't realize how much it does help.
And I hope you don't mind me asking these kind of questions. I mean, I'm sort of dropping them on you on the fly here, just we're just winging it.
No, I'm a
So I
complete
apologize
open
for
book.
that. Yeah,
No,
I
not at
love
all.
it.
I feel like so many people don't know about mini tour golf, whether it's the women's side or the men's side. Um, and I feel like there's so many questions that I have no problem answering anything, whether you like the answer or you don't like the answer. I'm going to be honest about it. And I feel like once you get those discussions going and, through word of mouth, people kind of get a better understanding of what we go through. I have probably 12 people at my club that I play golf with regularly. And from when I met them like 2, 3 years ago till now, they think that, I mean, they think I'm Jesus. Like I hit a golf shot and they're like that, like that you they get a better grasp of it. Like they've come out and seen events and they know what you go, and they're like, you're a completely different person in a tournament. I'm like, well, yeah, that's how I pay my mortgage. Like
Exactly.
it's not a $5 Nassau out there.
And again, that's what people, they really need to know what that side of professional golf is like, because everyone thinks it's all rainbows, lollipops, and unicorns out there. And I mean, there's some days where you're like, well, how am I going to get my next jug of milk? Kind of a thing, right? So,
Especially today.
well,
It's it,
yikes.
it's a grind. I mean, there's so many amazing stories, at least on the Epson tour, just because I've been on it for so long and I've met so many people. But girls working 2, 3 jobs in the off season, giving lessons, working at golf courses, playing in all the mini tour events, running around town. And I'm like, okay, if you gave Jordan Spieth 9 to 5 for his off season, where that money was going to fund his next season, and he didn't have those 6, 8 hours a day to dedicate to practice. I mean, pick your player, right? I don't care who the
Yeah.
player is,
Yeah.
right? Whomever the player is, what would their life be like? Being exhausted. It gets dark at 5 o'clock. I can go putt for 30 minutes. Like, it's just a different grind.
Yeah.
But then on the inverse, like if you gave, I don't know, our number 6 person on the money list $500,000 to start their season,
Oh,
what would their golf game be like, where they don't have to worry about money, right? So there's just this little pressure and time management, and it's different. It's the same sport, same game, but different weight on your shoulders for sure.
I think that's very well said. And just out of curiosity, do you drive from event to event, or do you
So
fly sometimes, or?
yeah, Epson has gotten over the last, I'd say, like 5 to 7 years, a lot more West Coast involved. So there's a lot more flights. When we're East Coast, I do try to drive, because once you get a flight, then you get a rental car. If that week you don't have host housing and you have to get to a hotel, let's just say on the small side, you're $2,500 in the hole. That could be 12th place to break even, right? So that added cost, I mean, it kind of sucks to have 14-hour drives from tournament to tournament, but I can also save myself $1,000.
Exactly. I mean, and you have some tournaments coming up this year where they added that stop. I think it's Connecticut this year, and a different one in New York State, I believe, that are back-to-back weeks. One's
We
at
have,
Great
I
River, and then there's the other one. I can't remember the course.
the one in Albany.
Yeah, Albany. Yeah, that's Great River, I think, right?
Albany is Pine Haven is the
Okay. Yeah.
course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun
Very
course. That's a
nice.
good little course.
Nice. And last year, of course, you had a win out there. That was at Wild Horse, I believe, was it not?
That was inaugural event in Oregon, and it was nice to see the old birds still kick some of those young bucks around a golf course. So that one meant probably the most out of all of them, after COVID, and you're getting at the age where everyone's like, why are you still chasing it? Why are you still chasing it? And I'm like, because you told me when I was 6 that I'm always supposed to chase my dreams. Like, which one is it?
Yep, exactly.
So
And to your point, I mean, my mother always said it too. She's like, you know what? If you don't have a dream, why wake up in the morning?
that's true. I mean, I'm not a 9 to 5er. I would be the most miserable person on the planet with an office job, doing like even just the off season. I'm like, okay, I got to clean the house again. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, how do people do this all the time? I'm like, I'm ready to go. I don't care if I miss every cut, but like, let's go. Like, I need to get on the road.
So now, what does your off season look like for those that again, don't think about this aspect of things?
Well, I'm kind of a weirdo, a little bit of a golf addict. Um, I play golf probably 6 days a week, maybe 7. I play with all the, I don't want to say old people. I mean, they're in their 50s and 60s. They're not old, but I play golf with all them. Mondays and Tuesdays I play with the ladies. I play the forward tees. Yesterday I was on 59 watch. Still kind of bitter about that.
Oh,
Yeah, I was pissed. I parred 17 and 18 to shoot 61. I was pissed.
oh
Um,
no.
I know. But I play with the ladies on Mondays and Tuesdays. I play the forward tees with them. Um, I'll play in random games with a couple of the guys for Stableford points, and I have to make like 30 more than anybody else, but whatever. Um, I'm just out there all like I live, I mean, from my garage to the first tee, if it takes me 20 seconds to get there, like I drove my golf cart slow.
Oh,
So like
oh, jeez.
I live the best life. I am so retired in the off season. Everyone's like, "You want to go to the club?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be right there."
20
Like,
seconds later, there's Daniela.
yeah, just pulling up, smoke in hand, just driving by, waving at everybody. Um, Yeah, I think I've been on the driving range like 3 times this off season. Like I don't driving range. I'm not a driving range person, but I'll go play. I play all the tees. I think I'm the only person. I play the tips, the forward tees, the senior tees, a combo, a mix. Like I'm like, whatever. Let's just like let me just play golf. I don't care.
I love the attitude. I mean, it's such a TeeBox chatter attitude. I got to be honest with you. And so where is home? Like, are you in the northern part of the state? Are you?
I'm
I don't want
central
to.
East Coast. I'm in Melbourne, so I'm like right
Okay.
smack dab in the middle of the East Coast.
Oh, that's perfect. I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, it's
And
it's it's hard to leave sometimes. I won't lie.
I bet, especially once you get to the tail end of the season where you're going to places that aren't necessarily shall we say subtropical, I guess. Um,
Right?
I think that's a nice way of saying it. I mean, Melbourne is a beautiful area. And what is your home course? Or is that a little too close to home?
I mean, I don't care if you show up and stalk me. I'm just gonna make you play with me. I don't know, like whatever. I don't what are you gonna get out
Love
of
it.
me? The Suntree Country Club. We got 2 courses over here. The greens are always so good. I mean, they have to be 11 and a half. They're so pure. It's so great. Tight lies. I mean, everything is so nippy right now. It's crazy. It's so much fun. You can just all the practice in the world. I don't do that. I just play. But yeah, it's a great spot. I mean, all the members are so supportive, and I drive down, and you got the Tuesday Ladies League. They're like Daniela, hey, and then you got the old guys that I just took for like $60 last week, and they're like, hey, how's it going? So it's literally everything that like 12-year-old me thought it would be.
Oh, that's amazing. Because that doesn't
Right?
happen often, right? Like usually,
No,
adulting sucks. And here you are, where you're doing what you envisioned back when you were 12. Like that is crazy.
it took a few years for me to recognize it, right? Because your goals are always, I want more, right? Especially as a golfer, I feel like we're never happy with what we have. It always could have been one shot better, one putt better, one drive better. We're always wanting more. And it kind of hit me today. Like it was like 70 degrees. There wasn't a breath of wind. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I'm playing with 3 of my best friends. And I just kind of looked around. I'm like, don't ever bitch about anything ever again. Like you're literally living your dream. I mean, could we use one more comma in the bank account? Yes, I'm sure we all could.
Right.
However, for what we're doing, I mean, come on, it's perfect.
Now these friends that you play with, are they also on Epson tour? Are they professionals as well, or
No,
is it just?
these are just the schmucks at my club that are, self-proclaimed 10 handicaps, but I rarely see them break 80. And it's ball busting to the max. I mean, if I could get a video crew out here 3 days a week, I would put the PGA Tour Netflix documentary to shame.
I love it.
We
you
have
know,
we have so much fun. I mean, I'm over putts and they're talking, they're chattering, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, keep going. Like, try to mess me up, please, because it's gonna happen." So they're talking, brakes are going, horns are going off, everybody's got a speaker. Like, it's just a time. It's what golf should be. It's not stuffy at all.
see that, and again, I mean, that's something that I wish people would take into consideration more. I'm in the same boat as yourself, where I mean, I work in a pro shop. I'm there because I like to banter. I like to cajole and have fun. Because if you're not having fun out there, then what are we doing out there in the first place?
If you're not having fun, your golf game's gonna suck anyway. So you may as well have fun. And if you suck, you suck. But if not, then it's really fun.
So I mean, Epson tour, they had a little bit of news recently. I think it goes back to last month, but Encore stepped up and is a ball sponsor now of the Epson tour.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
guess
if
they're gonna be our range ball sponsor.
yeah, which is I mean it's great for them. It's great for you guys, and or you gals? What do you prefer? Gals,
I
women?
don't know. I really don't give a shit if I like you call me a girl, I'm like, cool. Like that's what I am. Like that just makes me feel 10 years younger. You call me a woman and I'm like, ew, I feel old. Like I got Peter Pan syndrome. I'm still a child. Like it is what it is. I don't care. Some girls are, I see, I even say girls, right? But they're 20, 21, 22. Like you guys are children. You don't realize it, but you're children. So I don't, girls, gals, I don't, whatever. I mean, you call them guy, I guess, do you call them boys? Do you call a PJ tour guy? Do you just call them, I don't know. It's semantics. If
You know
someone's
what?
getting offended by that, like I just want to trip them. Like just relax. You know what I was trying to say. Just insert whatever words you're comfortable with and let's move on.
Oh my God. Oh, you know what? Here, here. Like I said to you in a DM on Twitter. Preach. I mean, that was of course going to bed early because, well, speaking for myself, I'm an old man. But I mean,
Same.
I will 8 o'clock to get here a lot on most nights. It's like, you know what? I'm stick a fork in me. I'm done. Uh,
Right? It happens quick too. Out of nowhere. Like when I was 30, I could still hang till like 10 o'clock. Now I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
So, I mean, you've alluded to the talent that's on the Epson tour right now, coming up from college and that, and so what's it been like in the time that you've been on the Epson tour? What you've seen with the development from, say, now versus 5 years ago, even.
Man, I tell this story all the time, but I remember my first few years on tour. Like, girls go to lunch and then they come to the course, and the girls would show up with like Panera cups. Like they went to Panera for lunch. And you would just kind of look at them like, whoa, they must have a sponsor. Like Panera was like a big deal. Like it's outrageously priced for a soup and a salad. And now I go to the driving range and I see like 5 or 6 TrackMan on the drive, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I mean, those are 20 G's like I don't have 20 G's to spend on a little device that tells me where I hit it on the club face. Like I don't know. So like there's more money I think that's backing the girls. There sure is a lot more talent. Um, I'd say a lot more girls are more serious about it.
Mm.
Back in the day, it kind of felt like a summer camp. Like you'd go to the driving range 2, 3 in the afternoon and crickets. I mean, it's dead. Now you go to the driving range at 2, 3 in the afternoon, you can't find a spot to hit a golf ball.
Crazy.
So, but the level of competition has increased, right? And there's only one way to compete with that. It's to get better. But it's been an interesting kind of, I guess when I look back on it, it's kind of like a time lapse. Like I just see it happen so quickly. But the girls are better. The golf courses we play are better. Equipment's better. Golf balls are better. I mean, everything's just better. And you're seeing it in the scores. I mean, 3-day tournaments and, you know, 12 to 20 under is winning. That's
Which is,
that's
you
golf
know,
in the ball. I don't care what distance you're playing from. That's golf in the ball. You still got to make putts to get that low. So I don't know. It's awesome to see, and I'm excited to see where it's just going to continue to go because I mean, it's not going to halt. It's just going to keep going.
and that's what I'm excited about. As far as the LPGA and Epson tour goes, it's just fun to watch all the development. Whether it stems from your Division 1, Division 2, 3 NCAA programs, or once someone's on tour, like just watching that development is just. I mean, it's fun, it's wild, and you know, it's time that the LPGA they get their kudos as well, or Ladies European Tour as far as that goes as well, because we got to mention them across the way. There's a lot of golf out there, a lot of great golf that the average casual golf fan is totally oblivious to, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's women's golf, and there's this macho bravado, where guys they don't want to
Oh,
watch
sure.
for whatever reason, you
It's
know.
weird. It's so 50-50 because I've met so many men that, and it's usually the older men, right? 60, 70, 80 years old. They love watching women's golf because they feel like they can relate to it. I mean, who the hell can relate to a 330-yard carry? Not a soul, right?
That's
Just
right.
that 0.1% of people, they can relate to it. But for the women, I mean, on average, I'd say the women on tour carry it, what, 230 to 250? That's pretty relatable. Maybe a 6 iron's going, 180, 170, 180. That's pretty relatable. 6 iron's not going 225.
No.
So, it's actually really cool. And it's neat that some of the guys on tour are starting to talk about the women on tour. And they're, I think once those guys kind of start opening that box of worms and, dropping girls' names and, letting people know that, hey, we watch women's golf, I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
But let's be real, the coverage sucks.
Oh, it's awful. It
It's not
is
good.
awful. No, no, no,
It's
no.
not good.
I mean, across the board, whether it's PGA Tour, whether it's LPGA, the coverage in general is pretty beat up, old.
Bring
But
us back Johnny Miller. I want people like bring him back.
yeah,
Bring him back.
like I'll be honest. There's this new guy that's on, I think, Golf Channel. He's on there with Frank Novello, and I'm listening to him. I'm thinking, I can't remember his name. Like, there's just no familiarity there, and I'm thinking, like, you're just, it's just weak. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
weak
not
and
it's not
old.
exciting. It's not
No,
exciting. There's no setup. There's no, I mean, I'd almost rather watch it on like a 30-second delay and give the commentators time to hype it up a little bit. I mean, when you go to Joe Schmo on 14 at +7, he's getting ready to make an 80-foot putt. Like, we all know that's coming.
absolutely.
We haven't seen him all day. Like, it's very predictable. And to be fair, you see the same, what, 8 people on the men's and women's side.
Always,
And
always.
when if a no show or a nobody wins a tournament, they don't talk about him the next week. And it's like you got 144 people. Like, you should be name dropping everybody, because there's somebody out there that, oh, I used to play at that club that they belong to in that town, and I know that. And that's how things spread. It's like they need to give more people a chance.
You know what? And I mean, not I don't want to get away from the LPGA here, but I mean, going back a few years ago when Tiger, dare I say his name during this episode, when he was out, everyone thought that it was horrible for golf. And you know what? I actually liked it because you heard about other golfers that you wouldn't have heard of.
Except this week,
Well, I'm staying away from the
right?
Golf Channel.
I mean, listen, I'm a big Tiger fan, huge Tiger fan. I would love so much to see him make another comeback, right? Like, win something, like just the story behind it and all the shit he's gone through. Like, it'd be great. But don't let him shadow, right? He played 3 events last year. Don't let him
Yeah.
shadow the people that have been working their asses off. I mean, Golf Digest just put an interesting stat on their Instagram. Like, John Rahm in his last like 9 finishes, there's only been combined like 17 people that beat him. That's
Which is
disgusting.
absurd. Yeah, that's
That's
absurd
so
golf.
good, right? So don't show me Tiger's press conference 19 times throughout the day. Like, show me everything. Show me everybody. Like, give
Yeah,
everybody a chance.
yeah.
Still a huge Tiger fan. Love Tiger. I would love nothing more, especially as I mean, he's an old guy now, comparatively. But let's see him smoke some 22-year-olds. Like, I would love that.
Exactly. I mean, it's sort of like when Tom Watson almost pulled off the Open Championship there a few years ago at what, 63. I mean, that was pretty exciting. Or even Phil when he won the PGA Championship at 50. It
Right?
was, but for Tiger to do it, and if he can squeak out two more, I mean, holy smokes!
They're
After
great.
everything he's
They're
been
great
through,
stories, but let's cover them when we get there.
Precisely.
Stop the hype, because all you're doing is taking him away from what he's got to do. You're throwing him in press conferences, you're interviewing him. It's the same question. How's the knee? How's the leg? How do you feel? Dude, he's here. He's here. That means he feels well enough to be here.
Precisely.
Like,
Oh, I think you're
it's
my. I
rocket
think you're my.
science.
Yeah, like I think you're my spirit animal.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure you're my spirit guide, my spirit animal, or something or other. It's like I'm talking to me.
Right? It's what everybody, well, I can't say everybody. It's what a lot of people think, but nobody wants to say it. Cause then you're a Tiger hater. Then you're named something, and you're like, no, that's just how it is. Like, hype him when he needs to be hyped. But it's Tuesday. Let the man go to work.
Exactly. So we're gonna jump away from golf for a couple seconds here. So what does Daniela like to do other than that 20-second ride to the first tee? What do you like to do away from the game?
Dude, honestly, that's it. I'm such a golf nut. I just got a VR headset, the Oculus. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes, I'm familiar.
It's I think it's like the coolest thing on the planet. So like I went and played golf this morning, got my clubs regripped, went to lunch, came home, played another 18 on the VR. I'm
Oh my God, I love it.
like if I had the money, I would turn my dining room into a hitting bay. If I mean, I don't have the money. My mom's like, you would have holes everywhere. I'm like, I don't suck. Like, I'm not gonna put holes in the wall. It's gonna go relatively straight most of the time. But I mean, I got a putting mat. I just want to play. That's all I do.
I
I feel
love
like I
it.
play golf and go to Costco. Like that's literally all I do.
Well, hey, you know what? On a mini tour budget, Costco and those sample days are pretty darn important.
Right? Costco needs to throw out some sponsorship. That'd be a good sponsorship.
Yeah, I could wear Kirkland
Yeah.
signature. Could play their wedges, their clubs, their putter. You
Do I have to
know,
play a Kirkland ball? I don't
well, I
know.
mean, it's advisable because I mean, if you're gonna go Kirkland, you got to go all Kirkland.
I listen, their putter looks legit. If someone's getting a little yippy, you might want to try out the Kirkland putter.
Have you tried their wedges?
I haven't tried anything. I've never even seen them, but the putter on
Well,
Instagram look cool.
I'm actually embarrassed to say that I really like the four swings I put on with the wedges. I'm actually embarrassed. They actually felt good. You know what? They were just like my Vokies.
I love that.
You
It's
know, it's like
probably from the same manufacturer. Who knows?
exactly. Well, even
I
the
mean,
Kirkland putters, they even look like a Scotty a little bit.
they
There's
do.
there's a little resemblance there, right? With the heel and toe weights.
Who knows, man? Whatever. Listen, I just went through this last like 2, 3 weeks, right? Like the new hybrids come out, the new 3 woods, new drivers, right? So I get them, and I must have tried 10 different shafts in this hybrid, and I cannot figure it out. I put my old hybrid in. I got the draw, I got the fade, I got the high, I got the low. I'm like, I'm not taking it out. Like I can't. I put it back in, and even all my people at the club, they're like, that's way better. You should probably stick with that. And I'm like, yes, I know. Like whatever works. Like I don't care.
See, and that's the thing. As someone who tests a lot of equipment, you know what? You throw anything out there within the last 5 to 7 years, chances are you're gonna have good results with it. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of shaft and personal preference. That's the point where it's getting because everyone's making good equipment nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know anything about any of the equipment. People are like, what's your shit? I'm like, I don't know. It's this.
Yeah.
It works. Like that's beyond my pay grade.
Now, did you make any changes in the off season,
Like equipment wise?
equipment wise? Yeah.
So the only thing that's new, I just got 2 new wedges, so new grooves, and I got a new driver.
Nice. What you swinging?
So I'm all Titleist, and I just got the TSR3.
Oh, good head.
It's yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then I was trying the 3 wood, but the 3 wood head is like a tick smaller, and I just
Mm.
didn't like. I was hitting it, but off the deck, I couldn't hit the shots I wanted. So she's benched for now. The TSI hybrid, I just couldn't figure out a shaft weight combo that worked for me. So
Yeah.
she's benched, and then we're T100s 4 through 50, and then I got a 54 bent to a 55 and a 62 bent to a 61.
Nice. So you carry two wedges other than your pitching wedge then?
Pitching
Is that
wedge
what?
50,
Oh yeah, and then the other two.
pitching wedge 50, 54, 62. Yeah.
Nice,
I guess
nice.
55, 61, but 62 sounds way cooler.
You know what? It really does. You know,
Right?
with 18 degrees of bounce.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing has, but put me in a bunker and I'm like, let's go.
Hey, now what ball are you playing? A Pro V?
Yep, regular Pro V. I get like back in the day, I switched to the X because back then the X had the less spin. And so I was actually playing. Sorry, I'm outside. That's obnoxious.
No, no, it's
I,
all good.
yeah, I can't smoke inside. So I was playing. I switched to the X one week. We were at Kingsmill in Virginia, and the course was soaked, so everything was super spinny. And at the time, I didn't know how to flight down a golf ball. So I put the X in play that week, and I was still zipping them off the greens, but it felt like a rock when I was putting it. I was like, I don't like that at all. So I went back to the regular Pro V, and I've just never looked back.
Awesome, awesome. So we only got a couple more minutes here, believe it or not.
Well,
Um,
that's silly,
yeah, no, I know it's the way that Zoom does things. Like, you know, I'm enjoying this too much.
right? We're just gonna have to do a version 2.0 another time.
You know what? We have to. You know, maybe I'll get my hands on you for playing in Albany because I actually plan on going to those two stops.
Yeah.
Once Epson Tour gets up here, that's part of the plan. And Michigan too, I think, as I recall from the schedule.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of the Midwest, a lot of Michigan. We got two in Michigan.
So now, did you play golf collegiately?
I did Florida Institute of Technology.
Oh, the Panthers.
Wow, you know them. That's awesome.
You know what? I love NCAA athletics.
That's awesome. Well, then you have to know my like 20-year accomplishment then.
Your 20-year accomplishment.
I was the only person competing as an individual at the NCAA championships to win it for Division Two.
No kidding.
No
I did
shit,
not.
shit, you not.
You know what? I did not know that. Is
This
that
is
in
a
your
trash
Wikipedia?
podcast.
Is that in
Yeah,
your
I
Wikipedia?
wrote it.
Did
I
you?
wrote it. No,
For real? No. Damn
I
it.
don't even know how to do that. No, no, I did win it, but I don't know if it's held. But at the time, I was the only person competing as an individual to win the national championship.
That's amazing. So
That was a fun time.
unfortunately, yeah. So I'm gonna have to say my bye now before it hangs up on us real quickly here. It's sort of like being at the PGA show where 2 o'clock comes on Friday and they just shut off the lights, say, "Get it the hell out of here." So
See ya.
Daniela Iacobelli, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on TeeBox Chatter. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and I mean, my stomach is killing me from laughing so much. So thank
Perfect.
you
I did
so
my job.
much.
No, thank you. It was awesome.
All right, so I guess that's all for now. So signing off from TeeBox Chatter.